Hello, we're Group 106, and together with my group mates, we will spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about the zero waste traveling restaurant slogan. The purpose of this presentation is to ultimately pitch a set of growth recommendations and action plan to the founders of Sloban, Chef Andy and Chef Tiffany, on what we think can help Sloban thrive as a business with a social purpose. But before we get to that, we would first like to contextualize the recommendations by starting with a brief summary of a landscape study we've conducted, followed by a strategic analysis of the current business model, which forms the basis of our recommendations and action plan given towards the end. Hello, we're Group 106, and together with my group mates, we will spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about the zero waste traveling restaurant slogan. The purpose of this presentation is to ultimately pitch a set of growth recommendations and action plan to the founders of Sloban, Chef Andy and Chef Tiffany, on what we think can help Sloban thrive as a business with a social purpose. But before we get to that, we would first like to contextualize the recommendations by starting with a brief summary of a landscape study we've conducted, followed by a strategic analysis of the current business model, which forms the basis of our recommendations and action plan given towards the end. First, the landscape study on zero waste. Essentially, the zero waste movement emphasizes creating closed loop systems that follow the 5 Rs: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. An interview I've conducted with Zero Waste Malaysia provided critical insights into the challenges and opportunities within the sector. Some of these key challenges include overcoming convenience culture, where consumers often prefer the easier option over sustainable choices, and the general lack of knowledge about the zero waste lifestyle. To combat these issues, the representative from Zero Waste Malaysia suggests a focus on community engagement that connects zero waste initiatives to relatable real-life social issues, making sustainability more accessible and appealing. We further explored the sustainable food industry through studies conducted by researchers in recent years. These studies revealed that consumers show a strong willingness to pay a premium for sustainable food products, particularly in Asia, where interest in this niche is rapidly growing. Sloban can capitalize.
To better understand Slowburn's position and growth opportunities, we conducted an in-depth internal and external analysis using various frameworks in our report. Here's an overview of our findings. So, Slowburn operates at the intersection of sustainability, experiential dining, and culinary innovation. With rising consumer demand for eco-conscious dining, the zero-waste movement presents a significant opportunity. However, educating diners unfamiliar with zero waste concepts remains a challenge, requiring strong storytelling and engagement. Key opportunities lie in partnerships with local farms and sustainability brands, expanding Slowburn's reach into private dining, corporate events, and educational workshops. Establishing supply chain partnerships with sustainable producers ensures both credibility and operational efficiency, reducing waste at the sourcing level. Operationally, Slowburn employs innovative food preservation techniques to minimize waste and maximize ingredient use. This not only aligns with its mission but also enhances margins by reducing cost inefficiencies. However, reliance on small scale sustainable suppliers means higher procurement costs and potential supply inconsistencies. The external environment also presents both opportunities and risks. Regulatory barriers around mobile dining and waste disposal vary by region, requiring careful market selection. Additionally, competition in experiential dining is growing, with more chefs and brands integrating sustainability into their offerings. In terms of competition, Slowburn's roving model significantly differentiates it from traditional fine dining and sustainability focused restaurants. While other zero waste establishments exist, they are often static, limiting their ability to create the same level of exclusivity and buzz. Slowburn's strength lies in its unique, immersive experiences, but its biggest challenge is scalability. As a pop up, consistency across locations is challenging, and the model relies heavily on the founder's personal involvement. Marketing is another critical component of Slowburn's strategy. The brand already leverages digital storytelling, but scaling its online presence, including merchandise, sales of preserved extracts, books, or limited edition goods, can build additional revenue streams. Expanding digital engagement through an app for reservations, pre orders, and a loyalty program could further drive customer retention. So, overall, to stay ahead, Slowburn must solidify its brand positioning as a leader in zero waste dining, balance exclusivity with expansion, and leverage technology and partnerships to create a scalable yet mission driven business model.
Hi, my name is Cassandra, and I'm going to take us through the recommendations that we have for the Slow Brand Company. So, first of all, we're going to look at the marketing and communication strategy, which focuses on two main areas, which is education and raising awareness to attract new customers and building on its exclusivity for existing loyal customers. So, for instance, looking at the educational series, we can actually develop online content, specifically behind the scenes content on zero waste practices, sustainability tips, and some even innovative recipes. Also, we can form partnerships with sustainability influencers and food bloggers to amplify the brand messaging in eco-conscious communities. Then we can also host, Slowborn can also host interactive events or workshops and cooking demonstrations in certain major cities. But most importantly, owners' identity. Owners can further combine their personal identity with the brand image of zero waste and food sustainability by hosting exclusive behind the scenes interactions with their most loyal customers. So now moving on to the slow burns growth strategy, we'll be focused on three main areas, which is to expand to new markets by adding more physical locations and even extending to online platforms, digital platforms, and thereby diversifying their revenue streams. And of course, establishing a permanent flagship location will also solidify their brand presence and allow for continuous engagement with the local community. Also, launching an online masterclass series on sustainable cooking practices can definitely generate even an additional revenue stream and even expand their brand reach internationally. So, given this niche market, it will be very advantageous for Slowbone to build non-equity strategic alliances and of course a distribution strategy to improve its economies of scope. And they can build these alliances with farmers. You can also build these alliances with retail stores to create more distribution channels. And of course, they can also offer product and service diversification. But most importantly, it can collaborate with research institutions and universities to innovate and develop new sustainable products and practices. Thank you.
Hi, I'll be presenting the Balance Scorecard for Sloban, which outlines our strategic action plan to achieve sustainable growth and differentiation in the market. Let's start with the financial perspective. Our primary objective here is revenue growth. We aim to increase our revenue by 15% annually through several key initiatives. Firstly, we plan to expand into new markets by opening new stores, which will help us to reach a broader customer base. Secondly, we will leverage online e commerce platforms and adopt a franchise model to enable us to scale efficiently. Thirdly, opening a flagship location will not only serve as a central hub for our brand, but also enhance our brand equity, ultimately driving increased revenues. Additionally, we will focus on cost management by optimizing our supply chain and implementing sustainability initiatives to reduce expenses by 10% annually. Moving on to the customer's perspective, our goal is to retain 75% or more of our customers within 6 months of opening. To achieve this, we will launch a loyalty program and enhance customer service. We also aim for a 90% customer satisfaction score by improving the dining experience and hosting community engagement events. In the internal processes perspective, we will implement zero waste programs to reduce food waste by 40% within the first year. This includes recycling, food waste management initiatives. Additionally, we will switch to 100% eco friendly packaging to eliminate single use plastics. Finally, in the learning and growth perspective, we aim for 85% or higher positive staff feedback in internal surveys by enhancing employee engagement and providing training on sustainability practices. We also plan to introduce 5 new initiatives annually by collaborating with research institutions and developing new sustainability programs. Slogan represents a strategic vision for a sustainable and innovative future. A plan includes clear objective, detailed initiatives, measurable KPIs to guide us towards our goal. We are committed to growth, cost reduction, customer satisfaction, operational efficiency, employee engagement, and innovation. These efforts will benefit our organization and positively impact our community and the environment. Thank you for your time and attention. We seek your support to turn this vision into reality. Your leadership and endorsements are crucial for Sloban's success. Join us in this journey by providing your insight, resources, and strategic guidance. Together, we can make Sloban a beacon of innovation and sustainability. Let's take the next step forward and make a lasting impact. Thank you.